So Thanksgiving is around the corner. Folks, if you live in New York and California, we have to warn you, you have to do Thanksgiving right if you live in New York and California. So you cannot screw this thing up because people are going to come to your house and some bad things could happen. Kai, do you want to pull up what the guidelines are do you have both New York and California? Okay, so you want me to read all of this? I needed like a basic one-pager. So here's, I'm still trying to find it, buddy. I'm telling you.
Point is, there's a lot of freaking rules over here.
Okay, so I don't
Ladies
have
and gentlemen,
that
that's Kai Lude over there. He just
All right,
made
here
an
we go.
appearance.
Here we go. So this is California or is this New York, Kai? The first one you're giving me. Okay, California. 3 household max limit. Must gather outdoors. Social distancing must take place. You must wear masks between bites and drinking. Less than 2 hours.
What?
No singing or shouting. This is your Thanksgiving in California. Let me read this one more time. By the way, this is from their website. This is not a joke. When I saw this, I said, it's for sure a joke. Let me read this to you again. Are you guys hearing this? I'm flabbergasted by this. So you can have a maximum 3 household maximum limit, okay? Must gather.
That includes your house limits. You can only have guests from 2 house limits.
So you bring your mom, dad, kids, that's it. 2 more. I can have 2 more of those. Must gather outdoors, not indoor. Social distancing must take place. You must wear masks. In between bites and drinking, less than 2 hours is what you can spend time with your family. Look at the look on your face. No singing or shouting. What do you mean no singing or shouting? Can you control F to see if that is BS that it says no? Right there. Rules for singing, chanting, shouting, outdoor gatherings. Singing, chanting, shouting, and physical exertion significantly increases the risk of COVID-19 transmission because these activities increase the release of respiratory droplets and fine aerosols into the air. Because of this, singing, chanting, and shouting are strongly discouraged, but if they all occur, the following rules and recommendations apply. All people who are singing or chanting should wear a mask, covering at all times while singing or chanting, including anyone who is leading a song or chant. Hence, they're talking about the church. Because these activities pose a very high risk of COVID-19 transmission. Facial coverings are essential to reduce the spread of respiratory droplets and aerosol. I mean, this has got to be pathetic right here. By the way, that's California. So let me get your reaction first on California. Go ahead, Tom.
Okay, by the way, playing of wind instruments is strongly discouraged. Okay.
Go back to it,
Clay,
Kai.
you're a mad jazz flute aficionado.
Yaz flute.
Hey,
as
here's
Ron
the
Burgundy
thing.
would
You know,
used to say.
listen, this is funny to a point, but these are actual elected officials who spent a great deal of time on this. I'm petrified for the future of California and New York, and I am not joking. These people will subtly, like little surgeons, little psychosurgeons is all they are, one step at a time, normalize it. Oh, we're not going to let you sing. Oh, take a bite of stuffing, put your mask back on. Chew quietly. Don't sing. Don't go to church. These guys are serious about jacking all our freedoms. And that's not a conspiracy theory. If they went through that much time to write in that great of detail, they're sick people. There's something wrong with that. I mean, it's so anti-American on every single level, and it speaks to fear, and it speaks to panic, and it speaks to, we know what's best for you. Let us protect you every second of the day.
These are your people, Tom, in California. These are your people. How do you live there? How do you live
I
there?
don't know.
You've lived there for how long?
6 years?
When are you getting out of there, man? Enough's enough.
It's unbelievable. It truly is unbelievable. The other day...
No, I'm serious. I'm being serious. Like, when is enough that you're going to leave?
Well, I think we've hit that point.
So you're out.
Well, look, I'm not here to make any big announcements, but I mean, how much more can you take?
I
can't take any more. The other day, I mean, you guys saw this, that one city council member in Los Angeles wants to turn the LA Convention Center, right next to the Staples Center, into a homeless shelter. By the way, there's no showers. There's limited bathrooms. When there's no, by the way, every day at the convention center is booked for the next 5 years. How are you just going to truck all the homeless? Could you imagine what they would do to the convention center? It would be destroyed. It would be done. Garcetti says, I need a little bit more data on this, but I think for the time being, we'll keep them in 4-star hotels. Because they do take over hotels and just move them right in.
Sick.
It's unbelievable. Same thing in New York.
Moving to California. Why would you want to leave California? You get a free hotel.
You want it? Yeah.
These things are obviously a freaking joke. These rules.
This is not a joke.
But I wish it was a joke.
I get that. The fact that they're trying to enforce these rules are the joke. I look at this 2 different ways. Number one, who's actually going to follow this? This is birthday. No singing on my birthday.
Some people will. There are
Okay.
Californians that will.
I look at this as
It's not about who's going to follow it. That's not the point. Who's going to follow it?
Yeah, I look at this as they have to put something out, right? Like they can't just be blind to the fact. Now, how are they going to enforce this? Are the, Thanksgiving police going to be knocking down your door like the Gestapo, being like, whoa, 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 how many households we got here? Did I see someone singing? Oh, take that stuffing out of your mouth, put a mask on. I don't think they're going to, tell me how they're going to enforce this. I don't think that's even a possibility. The way I look at it is they're probably saying, we got to do something. We got to say something. This is super extreme, I agree. But they can't just be
Here's
blind
what you
to the
say.
fact that
Be careful. Be smart.
that
Use
is them
common
saying
sense.
be careful, but in, government legislative terms. It's absurd, no doubt.
So,
However, they need to say something.
Tucker Carlson was on with Adam Carolla, and they said if the police show up, just say you're staging a rally, and that's perfectly fine. You're peacefully protesting in the backyard.
You're peacefully protesting.
What happens if it's 20 degrees in New York on Thanksgiving? You got to be outside?
That's
how does that
California.
work?
What you just saw right there is California. They're talking about California specifically. I'm going to give you New York guidelines right now.
Oh, that was just Cali.
But that's
Gotcha.
all you think about. That's all you think about. You just think about that's it.
No, I gave you two sides of the coin
Yeah.
there, that it's absurd, but they have to say something.
Let me tell you what is absurd if they enforce this. Right now, you just want to put a guideline, fine. If you enforce this and there's video footage, game over. You're going to see some crazy stuff happen in California.
Yeah.
If they enforce it, I pray that they're bright enough and have enough social intelligence, EQ, emotional intelligence, to not go enforce this. Because if they do,
Right.
the amount of fire they're going to get from people from this is going to be absolute insane in the state of California.
Totally agree with
Here's
you,
what
Pat.
Cuomo said. My personal advice is the best way to say I love you this Thanksgiving, the best way to say I'm thankful for you is to say, I love you so much. I'm thankful for you that I don't want to endanger you, and I don't want to endanger our family, and I don't want to endanger our friends. So we'll celebrate virtually. He added, but this is my personal opinion, which is fine. He can have an opinion. It's not
is
a law.
Cuomo speaking.
Just Cuomo speaking. Deck, the guy that decks people on the shoulder.
Tyson. This is Tyson.
Deck people on the shoulder. That's that guy. If you travel to one of the 41 states or territories on New York's travel advisory, you will need to quarantine for 2 weeks when you return. However, the governor added you can go where you want as the travel advisory is not a ban. In their current guidelines that they gave, 10 p.m. curfew for all bars, restaurants, gyms, and liquor stores. 10 p.m. curfew. Curbside pickup or delivery, okay. No alcohol to go. Indoor and outdoor gatherings at private residences limited to 10 people. So New York's given a specific number, it's 10 people. California is saying 3 households, including yours, which they're really saying 12 people.
Yeah.
You got 4 times 3. So that's New York. What do you think about that?
I think Newsom is he has mental issues. I mean, the level of detail that was on that California list, the New York list was a little bit more practical. I mean,
Yeah.
it had some level of sanity built into it. What's the point of... I mean, at least their gyms are open. At least gyms are open in New York. They're not even open in California. At least they can stay at a gym till 10 o'clock or go to a bar till 10 o'clock. We can't even do that in California. You talk about enforcing the laws, Manhattan Beach. There's every weekend, the yellow windbreakers are out on every street corner in downtown. If you don't have your mask up over your nose, they've got clipboards. They're yelling at you. They are moderately enforcing. Now, there's no way you can go into people's homes. I mean, there might be a stand your ground situation if they try to do that. But the thing that really kills me is each week there's something new. And they keep talking about COVID cases. And all I can say is I have a different mentality when it comes to it. I believe that we need to do whatever we can to protect the people that are most vulnerable. But everybody else, just be smart and have some common sense. My wife's entire family tested positive for COVID, and they're all fine. They all were ready to go after 2 or 3 days. They live in Missouri. Don't worry. And then you hear about all these athletes, that test positive and they're back playing in a week or less than that. So the hysteria has gotten so out of control. Now they're using the holiday. Wait till Christmas rules come out.
I mean, agreed. This is absurd. I don't think there's any way that they can enforce it. I totally agree
If
that
they
it's
do.
laughable.
Oh
It's
my
laughable.
gosh,
It's
if they do.
laughable.
Mass
But let's
exodus.
just look at some of the other stuff that's out there. I
Yeah.
get it. 10 million COVID cases. We've just crossed 10 million in the United States.
Yeah.
These are facts. Really proud to say here in Texas, we are leading the way here, baby. 1 million cases crossing Texas. We're number 1. If you ain't first, you're last. Way to go, Texas. The whole protecting people. Yes, I think we can all agree. Young, healthy, vibrant people are not the ones that are at risk. But the concern is you show up, you want to give grandma a kiss. It's Thanksgiving. You start singing La La Sis Boom Ba, boom, grandma dies. That's what people are concerned about.
La La Sis Boom Ba.
Yeah, I mean, that's a Thanksgiving song around my house. You know,
Nice.
the point is, it's not so much
Very
the young
exciting.
people, the Kai Ludis of the world, this crew over here, but they show up, they come home for Thanksgiving, they see their family, they give grandma a kiss. Now you're going to grandma's funeral. That's the concern.
Is
So,
that immediate? Kiss, death, burial,
I mean,
move on?
yeah, I mean, not immediate, but I mean, are we going to play the game that old people aren't dying
Yeah,
here?
but why
Are we going to
can't
play that game
why-
right now?
No, not playing that game at all. But why can't we determine whether grandma should come over for a kiss or not? Why do we?
You
need
want to kill
the
your
governor?
grandma, Tom? Go ahead. I'm just letting you know that's the concern. Like, as much as I think that these rules are a freaking joke and there's no way to enforce them, and it is absurd and it's laughable, we're having a nice chuckle about it. I get it. COVID's real. 10 million cases, million in Texas where we are, and they need to have some sort of guidelines.
By the
out
way,
there.
let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing when you say Texas has the most cases. I called Ricky, and I said, Ricky, go get your COVID test, you and your wife.
Yeah.
Okay? I call Ricky. Ricky says, let me find one. I said, dude, let me just tell you where we go. There's one there's 15 places within a 5-mile radius here I can go take the COVID test. He calls her and says, Pat, there's none. So what are you talking about? He says, there's none. I said, Ricky, go find. I'm getting upset at this point. I'd recommend, Ricky, I'm thinking he's not being resourceful. He just kind of doesn't want to go take it. He says, Pat, I'm telling you there is none. I said, Ricky, find a place. There's got to be one. Do you know Ricky and his wife had to drive 3 hours to the closest place to get COVID tested?
I believe it.
In California,
I believe it.
Bakersfield.
Oh, in California.
Yes.
I thought you meant in
So
Texas.
no, but the
Gotcha.
point is, California hasn't made it as easy to take tests as Texas has. Texas has made it so easy. You want to go get the bro over here. Every time, yesterday, one of our guys, their kids in school, something happened. One kid had a temperature, 101. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah,
We're
of
talking.
course.
He had a 101-degree temperature. Kid was at 103.5 this morning. He's
Yeah, I
doing
heard.
better now. But they took her right off the bat to get the kid tested. You know how long of a drive it was for her? 5 minutes. When got tested, negative, came back home. California, they don't have them everywhere. So as much as people say Texas is leading the way, yeah, Texas has also made it accessible. Not all states have made it as accessible as easy to go take the test as Texas has. Texas has no problem you going and taking the test.
So, question for you.
But they go out and say, oh, cases. Cases. Yeah, because Texas has done a phenomenal. Nobody gives the credit to say great job to Texas for making it very easy to go get tested. A lot of states are like, I probably just have a flu. I don't need to go get tested. You may have had COVID. Nobody knew about it because you didn't go get tested. In Texas, you're going to know because at least you have it available because a state like Texas wants to make it available for you, but they get shafted every time they do something like this and they get the black eye.
So,
Same thing
question for
nationally,
you,
too,
if
with the
they're-
numbers up.
If they're so precautionary in California, I mean, you live in California, you got a lot of people there. You obviously your whole family's there. Why are they so measured, precautionary rules, regulations, and they don't have testing? You're saying accessibility.
How big is Bakersfield? Can you go to Bakersfield, Kai? I think the population
a
of
function that
Bakersfield
Ricky
is
lives in the-
650. I don't know the
wow.
Bakersfield population. What's Bakersfield population? Bakersfield population right there should come up. 2020, 390. Kern County, go Kern County. Kern County, Kern County.
Good luck spelling that guy.
K-E-R, no, he'll get this. Kern County, there you go. He's improving a lot, by the way. 912,000, that's the 11th largest county in California.
Almost 1 million people.
And he had to go to Glendale to get COVID tested. What the hell are we talking about?
So is that a function of California? Is
That
that, a
is a-
function of the governor? Is that a function of Kern County?
all of it.
What is that?
I put it all on California. You got a 11th largest county. You making that difficult for me to get tested? It's $275 a pop that the insurance pays for, right? You just go and say, I have the symptoms, you take it. Insurance pays for the $275, you got tested. How do you not have it in a county that's the 11th largest county in California? How you make it so difficult? And the places you go to, guess what they say? We have COVID testing, but you don't get the results for 14 days. 14 days.
It's ridiculous.
It's, you go to CVS. Oh, I did a COVID testing for CVS. I did it twice.
Yeah.
You know how long it took for me to get my results
20
from
minutes.
CVS? No, CVS. 17 days.
Oh, wow.
I went to the local.
You're a little off there,
What-
Tom.
by the way, what do you call these
10 minutes.
places? What do you call these ER places that they have?
Urgent care?
No, you know which ones I'm talking about. You see all over Texas.
Plastic surgery place?
No, they have that as well. But the ER place right here, 3 hours. Just want to let you know, negative. So every time I'm getting tested, because they want me to get tested regularly, you're negative. You're negative. 3 hours.
So why is there such a disparity in 3 hours in certain places
Kyle,
and
you want to
3
change?
weeks
Okay,
in
there you
other
go.
places?
I don't know. I
what's going
couldn't
on
tell
there?
you. I am not the governor of California. I have no desire to be the governor of California, but they can do things to improve the testing, and they're not.